Hello and welcome back to another edition of £100 Photography. I was hoping to do a review of the Canon 400D for you in this episode, but I had an issue with the CF card reader, so I am having to order another one. Until that arrives, I'm not going to do that, because I do like to show you the pictures that come out the camera alongside the reviews so you can actually see what it's capable of shooting. So instead I have done this. It is the Panasonic Lumix G1. Let's try and get a nice close-up of that there for you. This was Panasonic's first mirrorless camera. In fact, indeed, it was actually the world's first mirrorless camera. It is on the Micro Four Third system, which was co-developed with Olympus. When this first came onto the market, it cost in the region of £500, probably body only, and obviously you can then buy it with a kit lens on top of that. This has a live MOS sensor. So I know in a previous video I talked about some other sensor types, so I forgot to mention this one, so apologies for that. It has a 12 megapixel sensor. Its ISO range is from 100 up to 3200, but it does have an intelligent auto ISO feature on here as well. It also benefits from live view on this lovely flip out swivelly screen. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, turn it on, you can actually see it then. I'll do that if I've got enough battery left. There you go. So as you can see, it's pointing at my chest there. One cool thing, really cool feature about this is that it can cleverly switch between shooting in the monitor on the side here, or through the electronic viewfinder at the top there by these two little sensors down here. So if I just cover those up, it now thinks there's a face to it, so it's shooting through that. So isn't that clever? This was the first mirrorless camera, so obviously that's a world first for that as well. That's a lovely little feature. Pop that onto the side there for the moment. Oh no, I'm actually going to still use it. It also has a pop-up flash, so no need to have an external one, although it does have a hot shoe, that's the words I was looking for, hot shoe mount on the top there as well. It also has a timing feature on here to go between 2 and 10 seconds. So obviously if you're wanting to take pictures and you don't want any movement in the camera, you can set the timer, or if indeed you want to go and pose for family photos altogether, you can do that with that. It's lovely. It takes SD cards, which are sort of universally accepted in most computers or any other type of camera, so there's no issue with being able to swap between the two. What else to tell you about it? It shoots RAW and JPEG. Its battery life is rated at 350 shots. In the short time I've had that, I have found that to be more than useful, or more than usable. So some of the pros about this little camera: it is very light, very, very light indeed, and it's lovely and small. As I've got reasonably large hands, I can see I can have to tuck 2 fingers underneath. But also everything is usable with one hand operation, so that makes it really quite nice. So you don't actually have to support it with the weight of it or anything like that. So that's really nice. The menu system I found to be very easy to navigate around and to figure out, because I've never had a Panasonic before, so that was very nice and simple, straightforward to use. Certainly to buy it now, you couldn't get much better price-wise for this. I picked this one up for £25, just the camera body. I then went and bought the lens on top of that for another £40. So obviously that's well below £100, which is the aim of this channel. I'm now going to cut away so you can have a look at some of the pictures that I've taken today. So here they are. Some of the downsides to this camera is what I found, certainly when I was shooting out with it today, is when you're shooting through the screen mode there, I found that when you were changing the settings in the camera, so you're adjusting your ISO and all, all the shutter speeds and all the rest of that, it didn't actually reflect what you were doing in there. It showed you on the display, but I was kind of hoping that when you changed them, it would either make the screen brighter or darker, depending on what you were doing to it, just to so you could actually see what in real time what your setting adjustments were actually doing. So I didn't notice that, which I found a bit disappointing, to be honest. I'm not sure if other mirrorless cameras do this or not, but I kind of was expecting that. I also found the it has a tracking autofocus function on there, but I found that to be really quite slow. Now I know you probably say this was the first, so it's not going to be ideal, it's not going to be great, so I probably am being a bit over ambitious with it, but I did find that to be an issue. I mean, I'd love to try some more modern versions of this and see if that feature has caught up with, well, certainly what my expectations of it were. Compare it to DSLR cameras, the battery life is very poor. You can easily get much more exposures out of a DSLR than you can with this. But it's the first of its kind, so it's not, and it's quite old now, so the battery's probably not going to last as long as what it was when it was new. But the other major thing I found disappointing about this camera in particular is it doesn't have video mode. Now I know on older DSLRs you never had that either, but this was released back in 2009, 10, and smartphones were really coming to the fore then, and they all had videos, so it wouldn't have taken much for them to put it in. Luckily, however, they rectified that very quickly, because they then released the GH1 only about 6 months after this came out, which did have video mode in. And I've got my eye on the G2, so I'm hoping to get that at some point soon as well. So in conclusion, I know I just said there's a few negatives there, but I actually really like it. It's a brilliant little camera, and it is nice, really nice and light, and it is very, so like you can just pop it in a bag and take it with you wherever. So yeah, I would actually thoroughly recommend this one, especially if you're brand new to photography. I don't think you can go wrong with this. It is, like I say, it's a lovely little camera, and if you're not bothered about the video mode, you can get yourself a cracking little bargain here. Okay, that's my quick review for this camera. I would love to know if any of you have actually got one of this. So please feel free to leave comments down below if you have got one, and what your views are on it, whether good, bad, or whatever. Or just generally on wider views of this manufacturer, because like I say, I've never shot with this one before, so this is a completely new thing for me. Please like and subscribe, and I will also drop the link in down below to my Instagram account, so if you would like to follow that as well, that'd be great, and I can let you know of any up and coming videos through there. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again soon.